podcaster voice. That's all you need. That's really all you need. Well, first and foremost, okay, guys. My name is Mamadou Diallo. I am a full-time real estate investor in the DMV area, and we invest in 7 different states. And today I'm live with my actual closing attorney in the DMV, Michael Gross, who works with ATG Title. They do closings in the whole DMV, actually, right, Michael?
That's it. And we do cover some other states as well.
Oh, there you go. So that's good. So you can give those states here today so people know. I just love working with them because, before I started working with ATG Title and met Michael, I had already worked with like probably 5 different title companies. And so the biggest challenge for us is I specialize in creative finance, subject to seller finance, and all that fun stuff. And most title companies really struggle to understand this type of transactions when it comes to the investing world. When I spoke to Michael, he blew my mind. So it wasn't even about ATG Title. It's really Michael. And I was like, okay, I don't care about you're so knowledgeable about this stuff. So, I'll let you introduce yourself, Michael, and let people know who you are. And before we dive into it, and how long you been closing creative finance deals? Because I know it's been a long time.
Yeah, it has been a long time. You can sort of tell that I've been practicing law for a while here. I am an attorney admitted to practice in DC and Maryland, and I am actually Maryland and DC counsel to ATG Title. We do settlements in the entire tri-state area here, and been branching out to a couple of other states as well. I've been doing alternative financing work basically since I started practicing law, which now that I think about it is well over 40 years ago.
Whoa.
One of my first clients was a woman who bought packages of properties in Baltimore. And this was years ago when Baltimore was a disaster on toast.
Wow.
And she would buy the properties for a low price and then assign them to other people. And very often, alternative financing was involved there. Subject to loans, owner takebacks, land installment contracts, the whole broad range of alternative financing.
Right.
And so I've just kept dealing with it all these years. It's just, it increases your flexibility in buying property.
Right.
I probably said this before to you, Mamadou, but I was once told by an advisor that if the only tool you have to solve a problem is a hammer, all of your problems are going to look like nails.
Right.
And so for real estate, if the only thing you know is find a house, get a mortgage, go to closing, you're just not going to be able to do as many deals as if you can deal with alternative methods of financing your purchases.
100%, 100%. You're super limited, and not only that, the banks can only loan you so much based on your credit and all that fun stuff. So that's super interesting. So with that being said, Michael, so when it comes to creative finance, specifically subject to, because most people are familiar with seller finance, land installments, that's something most people know of. But when it comes to subject to, that's where there's a lot of pushback from the number one deal killer in our world, where we do a lot of marketing off market. We help a lot of sellers out of pre-foreclosure and all that fun stuff. The number one killer when it comes to subject to deals is either an attorney, number one, that always, throw in the word illegal, or you have real estate agents, but not because they don't know nothing about it anyway in the first place. I think it's just because they're uneducated about it. But specifically attorneys, I found a lot of attorneys, when the seller says, well, let me ask my attorney, the attorney always comes back with, they can never tell you where it says is illegal. They just throw it out there. And so for specifically,
it's not illegal.
Right.
The cops are not going to come and get you. There's no law that says you can't do it. What it is technically is a breach of contract by the seller. The seller, no doubt in their loan documents, has agreed with the lender that if I sell the house, I will pay you off. And so then if they do sell the house subject to, and they don't pay the lender off, they've breached their contract with the lender. All right, fine. A breach of contract is not a violation of law.
Right.
If you think about it, people breach contracts all the time. And as long as the other side doesn't really, care to make anything about it. If you go to a restaurant and they serve, the dinner comes on the menu, it says we're serving it with peas. And they come out and they say, well, we ran out of peas, we gave you green beans. If you don't care, technically they've sort of breached the contract because you wanted to buy a meal with green beans. Well, if the lender doesn't care, and frankly, most lenders don't for some rather technical banking reasons, there's nothing inappropriate with doing a contract involving a due on sale clause.
Right.
And avoiding, I should say, complying with the due on sale clause.
100%. And with that being said, because I know every title company is different, right? There's title companies that close on subject twos, and there's title companies that absolutely, not because they don't want to, but their underwriter wouldn't ensure the transaction. Is there a reason behind it? Is there laws that like, is there, do you know?
To be honest about it, the reason that most folks won't do it is that it requires them to get out of their usual comfort zone. Most settlement companies are built to deal with volume. Get it in the front door, and back out as fast as you can. So they're built to deal with plain vanilla closings. Find a house, find a mortgage, go to closing. Subject to deals are by definition not vanilla, and they require a different analysis. And the clerks, and in most title companies, to be very honest about it, everything's handled by clerks. Lawyers don't really look at it until the end. The clerks don't know how to do it because they've never been taught to do it. And if they get a subject to case, and all of a sudden the conveyor belt doesn't work as well. And so a lot of places have just said, we don't want to deal with it. We don't want to deal with subject twos, land installments, owner, anything. It's not the kind of plain vanilla work we like.
Got it.
But doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means they don't know how.
They don't know how to. That's exactly what I always tell because I've had to hop on three ways with sellers, attorneys, or title companies like more than dozens of times. And I always have to educate them like little babies, right? It's like they have, and at the end, what I understand is, okay, it's not that what you're saying is not, you're not saying is illegal, even though you're using the word illegal. What you're saying is you don't understand it. And so you rather your client to stay completely away from it. Or for the title company, like you said, this one requires you to do the work. Actually, you're gonna have to do a little bit above and beyond. That is insane. So like in 2023, I'm sure because you work with ATG title, right? You guys, I don't know how many close. Do you have an average number of closings that happen per day in the DMV? Like if you had to put a number on it?
I couldn't tell you. It's just not something that I've ever looked at a statistic for.
Because I know
I will tell you, however, that since I'm responsible for preparing the deeds for Maryland, most of Maryland, we have another attorney, and judging by that, we're doing a decent number of settlements every day.
I'm 100% sure. The reason I'm asking you is because most of my audience is either they're trying to get their first deal, or they're in their second deal, so they're not super experienced, and they think this thing, number one, they think is a new concept, which, like you just said, you've been doing it since I forgot what year, but it's definitely not a new concept. It's just people call it different. And then because I also do deals in different states, is I found every single state have a different name they give land installments to, subject, like they give different names, which all mean the same thing, right? And so that's why I'm saying that, because somebody might be watching here and think, but it's not new, and it happens every single day. Like there's
alternative financing is not new by any means. It gets more popular every time there is a burp in the interest rate market. But alternative financing, frankly, goes back as long as real estate transfers have been going back. I don't want to say 1,000 years, but we picked our land law up from England.
Right.
And this stuff was all being done back whenever. As a matter of fact, before the 1970s, a very substantial amount of real estate transactions were done with alternative financing. But because of some changes in banking law that occurred at about that time, and frankly, because the Board of Realtors, at least around here, decided to take all the alternative financing paragraphs out of the standard board contract, it became less popular in this neighborhood.
So it used to be in the realtors contracts language.
Oh yeah, it was in the old contracts.
Oh wow.
That's
see, insane.
I know this because I'm old.
Right. And by the way, guys, I know if you're on Instagram, you cannot see it, but he's not old, but he has a white, looks really nice on you. But can you guys tell that he has like a podcaster voice? Do you have your own podcast?
Excuse me?
Do you have your own podcast?
No, I don't.
You should. Like, you honestly should. You have too much knowledge to not be educating people weekly.
Well, I'll use my broadcaster's voice more often.
Yes, absolutely. That is insane. It's funny because that means now the realtor, like in 2023 here, Michael, just in Texas, just this month, in Texas, between Texas and Florida alone, we've paid out over probably $50,000 in commissions to realtors on alternative financing deals, creative finance, meaning subject to and seller finance, on properties they absolutely couldn't sell for over 90 days, or some of them even 6 months. And they absolutely had no clue about this, not only the strategies, but they were very reluctant and very adamant about it at first, until they found out, you know what, there is no alternative for me to sell this house. It's been on the market for 6 months. Everybody is making lowball offers. Some of these properties, people bought it 2 years ago. It has no equity. And there's a lot of realtors right now struggling. They're not getting paid on commission because the houses are not selling. And because they're so, I don't know if it's the brokerage, if that's how they teach them when it comes to, like, you know, realtor school. I don't know how you call it, but they're very close when it comes to anything outside of, like you said, with the title company analogy, the vanilla type of transaction, right? Is make me an offer, send a proof of fund, and then I'll send it to my seller. It's crazy. And so can you expand on that? Because that's you know, I'm sure you work with a lot of realtors that do closings with you too.
I think that's human nature, really. People are, once you know something, and it's not that it's hard to learn something new, but you get comfortable with it,
right?
And you say, okay, this is, I'm here in my comfort zone. Why should I go out of it?
Right.
And there is, I think, a natural conservative inclination in people, especially if they're doing business, to do what they know how to do. You're right. As soon as you educate the real estate agents and show them that they can sell more houses by using alternative financing strategies, they're very happy because they've now learned new tools, and not all of their problems are going to look like nails. You know, they have a bunch of tools to solve problems. I don't know. I can fault, I think, the real estate industry or real estate agent industry around here for taking this stuff out of the educational process, because I think it's useful to know.
Yeah, it's super useful. It's super useful. Like you said, it's just a tool in your tool belt, right? It's just like you become a one-stop shop almost. Because, like, for example, when I look at my team, is okay, we do cash deals as well. We just, you know, we do cash deals, we do alternative financing. If I'm talking to a seller that they have to list their home, like that's the best route for them, I have an agent in-house I can refer them to. So, like, if you talk to me, you don't have to talk to anybody else. And I think that's where agents are missing, is they're just like, it's almost the same thing as traditional fix and flippers, right? Like right now, last week I've spoken to a fix and flipper who, he was making, I think, 60 grand every single month. And right now he's about to go, he was like, dude, I'm about to go bankrupt. I'm like, how? It's because he doesn't know anything else outside of going to a hard money lender, get a loan, buy a house cheap, and fix it up and sell it. And right now, that's not, unless you're in a market where things are flying off the shelves. That business model is really very slow right now, or literally dying in certain areas. You better not, I just sold the fix and flip in Texas. I thought it's going to take us 90 days. It took us all little over 4 months to sell it, and we had to like discount it heavy. We went from 375, we ended up selling it at 334, no, 340. That's how crazy it is, right? And so, and speaking of that, we have the event coming up, which is actually tomorrow. This is in Virginia, guys. The link is in my bio. So we have an actual live event coming up where we're going to educate real estate agents specifically. The reason being is because, again, a lot of them are reaching out because they're struggling to get listings. That's just the reality. And I know actually title companies that actually have also seen like their closing ratio go down because these people are not moving properties, right? And so we're going to do that tomorrow, guys, live. This is in Virginia. The link is in my bio. The address is there. You can register. Michael Gross is actually one of the key speakers on that, where we're going to talk about everything alternative financing, educate you on the fact that it's not illegal, how to do it the right way, because it's all about doing it the right way also. Like a lot of title companies, if they don't know what they're doing, they will screw you up when it comes to this. I'm sorry, Michael, for using this language when you're here, but
if you don't know what you're doing, yeah, you can wind up.
Yeah, you don't want to do. I've been through that. Title companies that told me yes, I'll do it, and then at the closing table, they have no clue what they're doing. Everything, the whole process is wrong side. It's really important when it comes to subject to deals. And you will hear it directly from an attorney, but also as a real estate agent, you will see how you can sell more listings this year and moving onward, because we don't even know when this interest rates thing is gonna. Michael, do you have any inside scoop on what's gonna happen with these interest rates? Like,
And if I had a crystal ball about what was going to happen in the economy, I would probably be on an island somewhere with my feet and a cold drink in my hand. But
That's
no.
true. That's true. So yeah, I mean, so whether you are a real estate agent, whether you are, a full-time traditional real estate investor, and you don't know nothing about no alternative financing, which is subject to seller finance, land installment contracts, you are missing out on so many deals. Because it's funny, Michael, a lot of deals that I close with you come to me through investors that do marketing off market, right? They get deals and they have no clue what to do with it. They're like, this is trash. Like, there's no equity to me. And so they just go, Mamadou, can you do something with it? And I take it and I turn it into a cash flowing asset with the alternative financing, And realtors is the same. Like right now, investors are literally eating their lunch while they're sitting there having their eyes wide open, right? So it's really this, guys. I promise you, if you anywhere close in the DMV, you do not want to miss out. And our goal is actually, this is sponsored by ATG Title, guys. That's who I use in the DMV to close on all of my transactions, whether that be alternative or traditional real estate. But you do not want to miss out. Our goal is to have this going once a month or once a quarter. We'll try to keep this going so we can educate people on how to do it the right way. And we're also promoting collaboration over competition. So because there's enough out here for everybody, guys. Trust me, if you think there is competition or there's too many people in real estate, you have no clue how many transactions happen per day. Until I actually have a friend who owns a title company in Arizona, Michael, and they actually invest in knowing those numbers. It's insane per day, the type of transactions that happen. And so I really, really appreciate your time, Michael, coming up. And oh, by the way, let people know, where is ATG Title outside of the DMV? Which other state? Do you know it?
I don't have a complete list. We're in
Okay.
the process of growing. We're in Florida,
Okay.
Pennsylvania, I believe now Delaware.
You're in Florida?
Yeah. Mhm.
I close deals in Florida all the time. I did not know.
Sorry about it. We'll have to
Oh,
talk.
wow. Who's the attorney
Also,
there that handles
yeah,
in Florida?
also Illinois. And
Michael, I
I
just
can
closed
get
I
a
just closed a deal in
complete
Illinois.
list for you. It's a bit of a growing process. The president of the company has sort of made a commitment to try to begin to grow, and he's picking up a state here and there every so often. We're working with good local attorneys and title folks in each place, and we'll do the best we can to cover you.
I literally just closed on the seller finance in Illinois that is going to be a midterm rental. Literally.
I hope it works for you.
So yeah, so what I'm gonna do actually, when you send me the list, Michael, I'm gonna put it in the link in the description on my YouTube channel and all my social media, so that people have access to it. And then I mean, there's gonna be the event. The event also we're gonna promote it a lot. So we're gonna keep this going. I'm gonna bring you back more as a guest so we can talk more about this, which is gonna be beneficial to both us and the industry. Honestly, like we're trying to, even in the DMV, we're trying to see how can we promote really people collaborating more, and doing more deals. Real estate agents, investors, fix and flippers, really doesn't matter, and title companies as well, because without title companies there is no way to do these transactions successfully. Dara, the event, so the link is in my bio. You can go in my bio, you can click on the link. It's in the DMV. That stands for DC, Maryland, and Virginia, if I'm not mistaken, right? That's what it stands for. Okay, guys. So this was Michael Gross from ATG Title. Guys, the most handsome attorney you've ever seen. If you're on Instagram, you cannot see it, but you will see it in my YouTube channel. And you can hear the voice. This guy gotta be on radio. Like, we gotta get your podcast going, Michael. Are you planning on retiring anytime soon? I don't think so.
Well, right now I'm still enjoying what I'm doing.
Yeah.
If you don't enjoy your job, there's no point doing it.
Yeah.
And I still enjoy it. And among the things I enjoy doing is educating, since my practice revolves mostly around investors.
Oh.
Educating investors, seasoned investors, new clients, whatever, and helping them grow the business. It's what I like doing.
I love it. Speaking of that, I think there is one question I didn't ask you. The DMV, no, not the DMV, but Maryland. Remember, we spoke recently, they wanted to pass a bill to ban wholesaling real estate in general, which actually, Michael, our next episode, I'm going to bring you back as a guest. We're going to talk about wholesaling specifically. Okay. If you don't mind, then you can bring out the suit and tie at that time. Okay. But specifically for that bill, I don't know if you kept up with it. Was it passed? And if so, like, do you know what's happening with that?
The statute wasn't going to ban wholesaling.
Okay.
You can't actually, I think, do that in any effective way. Okay. What the statute does is it requires you to, it makes wholesaling come in under the definition of providing real estate brokerage services. It's a technical definition in the law, right, but it basically means what you think it means, buying and selling property. So now, if you're going to be doing wholesaling, you simply need to have a real estate agent's license. That's the bottom line of what the law is after.
Got it. And do you need to have it yourself, or if somebody on your team has it, that's enough?
The person who's actually doing the activity is the one who needs to be licensed. So,
got it.
For example, I don't think it's permissible to have a person who sits in the office with a license and have 5 or 6 other people actually writing the contract. It's the contract writers, I believe,
the contract writers
that the law wants to license. It has not gotten through into final form, as far as I know, and it may or may not make it through, but that's the intention of the bill at the moment.
Okay. And one last one before I let you go, Michael. I see a lot of newbies, because I educate people too. They're afraid, actually, when they first start, to call a title company, a local title company, right, that they can work with all the time, and just ask simple question as, what is the process like? How do I open escrow? Blah. Why are you guys so scary? Like, why can't you people just call you? Like, would you guys not answer those questions, or?
I'm not scary.
Yeah, I know you're not, but I feel like there's something about title companies, and this is just for educational purposes. Because me, I don't mind. I remember I called you. We had a long 2-hour conversation before I ever started using ATG title.
Well, it may be, and I don't know how other people operate, but asking somebody who to take time out of their day when they're doing other things, and instead to spend time educating you, they may just view it as an intrusion. I don't know.
But they want your business, though. If I'm gonna bring you closings, it shouldn't. This is what I tell newbies: if you're gonna bring them closing, because the thing is, you gotta go to people with value. You're not just calling to asking hypothetical questions. Hey, I'm marketing I'm gonna get deals. I just want to understand, because some people don't even know what a purchase and sale agreement means, let alone, right? And so until they get their first deal, at least to the finish line. And so calling a title company is, guys, is really not scary. A title company that understands business, and they want your business. That's what they're into. Is the closings is something they want. So if you're actually somebody who's going to bring them closings, they'll be more than happy. I've never had a title company that told me no on a question where I'm asking about a deal. I'm about to open escrow for them. Now calling them and start asking them what wholesaling means, that's not what I'm talking about. That's YouTube. That's what YouTube is for. Do not do that. They don't have time for that. Okay, but that's what I meant. But Michael, I appreciate you. And we'll do more episodes, but tomorrow, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, guys. I even forgot what time is the event, but the link is in my bio, guys. Again, this was Mamadou and Michael Gross from ATG Title, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you for hanging out.
Happy to